Hare Krishna. We go 1 hour. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestabudale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namni Namaste Sasariti Gauripani Pacharini Shri Shunyamari Bhasha Taresh Tarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shveti Giradhar Shivasiri Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Gaur Pramanandi. So thank you all for being on time for the first part of the seminar on Sankirtan book distribution. We'll have a few of them, so we're taking it bit by bit. How many of you are regularly going out on book distribution? Okay, 1.5. All right. How many of you are thinking about going on book distribution? Okay, that's good. Jai. Wonderful. So today, we'll keep this brief because we go 1 hour. So we're going to speak about the foundation. There's many courses, many different seminars, many different things. But we'll just give you the essence. Since you're all bright and attentive, you can pick up the essence and then extrapolate from that. Preaching is the essence. Books are the basis. Purity is the force, and utility is the principle. You all attended the seminar of Vaisheshika Prabhu? How many of you were here when he was here? Okay, so you already know about the 4 laws of book distribution? What are the 4 laws of book distribution? What's the first one? Strong sadhana. Yes. Everything is based on strong sadhana. If you don't have sadhana, have any impact, you'll be shooting blanks. Have you seen in the movies when they shoot blanks? Poof, poof, poof. You know, big noise, but no effect. Nobody falls over. Have you ever had that experience in preaching? You make big noise and a lot of talk, but no effect. Nothing happens. Nobody falls over. People are not impressed. Why? Because we're not impressed. Why? Because Krishna is not impressed. Because we have not been paying attention. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, everything is based on sadhana. All the potency comes from Krishna. Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartan. If you go to a seminar, you should have a paper and a pen, unless you have photographic memory. I know some of you might be Naishtika Brahmacharis. You have photographic memory. For the rest of us who tend to forget, we have a paper and a pen, so we can take notes, because once you hit the streets and you see a lot of lights and a lot of colors and a lot of people, you forget about everything that you heard before. Okay? So, everything is based on chanting and hearing the holy name. Srila Prabhupada said 90% of your spiritual advancement comes from chanting Hare Krishna. He had a wonderful seminar last weekend about chanting Hare Krishna by His Holiness Rompat Swami Maharaj. So he has eloquently elucidated the points about hearing and chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So that is the foundation. This is the Hare Krishna movement. The more we chant attentively, offenselessly, the more our potency will be coming through us. And reading Prabhupada's books every day. Who here is reading 2 hours every day? Who is reading 1 hour? Half an hour? 20 minutes? 1 verse? Okay, something. You got to read something, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Why not? Because we'll be hypocrites. We can't ask people to do something that we're not doing ourselves, right? That's the definition of a hypocrite. He's asking people to follow something that he or she himself are not following. So it won't really have any potency, any impact. Now, as we mentioned this morning, you have a couple of seconds to make an impact, to actually reach the person's heart. That means you got to be pretty sharp. You have to be kind of switched on, you know? Switched on. You have to be kind of alert. And that alertness, that connection, that comes from good sadhana. So sadhana is the key, never neglect it. Second law was already mentioned, get books. If you don't have books, you can't distribute them. So have books, carry them. And the more you show, the more you sell. You have to show the books. Don't just keep them in your bags, in your purses, in your lockers. Take them out. Show them. Give them to people. They'll be attracted. And the fourth one is you must organize. Did you get that clear? What was the first one? Strong sadhana. Second one? No, that's part of strong sadhana. Second one? Get books. Third one? The more you show, the more you sell. Fourth one? You must organize. Yes. Just like we're having class from 10 to 11. So there's a saying, if you can't be early, if you can't be on time, at least be early. Some of you were here early. It's very nice. It shows that you're serious. So we have to organize. You got to organize our lives. You're living in a big, busy city. You got duties. You have many things to do, people to meet. But if you organized, you can do all of that. But if you're not organized, you can't even get out of bed in the morning. Why? Why should I? You know. So let's get started. What is the first thing that you do? What is always the first thing? Pray. First thing we do before we do anything is pray. Because we realize I'm small, I'm dependent, I can't do this alone. So Guru and Krishna, please help me, please empower me. Krishna Shakti. The Shakti, the potency is coming from Krishna. It's not my potency. If you're running on your own strength, you won't run very far, you won't jump very high, you won't have a lot of impact. I have seen people who were stronger, smarter, and faster than all of us put together in one person. But they're not here today. You know why they're not here today? Because they mainly worked on their own strength. They did not cooperate with others so well. So they're not here. We mentioned earlier, this is a Sankirtan movement. This is a team effort. Now, you can be a star in your own hometown. You can be a star in the Little League. But if you want to play on the national team, you got to be a team player. Otherwise, they won't have you on the national team. Why? Because national team means team first. And my ego, my score, my success second. So personally speaking, I'm not so much concerned individually whether you do 550 or 500 books. I want to know what's Chicago doing. Because formerly Chicago was amongst the top 3 temples in the US. And we want to see it happen again. And it's quite possible because you got whatever it takes to make it happen. But it's a team effort. So we're not looking so much, okay, this one doing so much, this one doing so much. We're concerned, what is the team doing? And team means everybody. It means we have to help each other, we have to support each other, we have to sustain each other's endeavors. So the first thing is pray. And when you pray to the Lord, please allow me to become your instrument, your humble servant. I would like to please Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master. And even though I'm deficient in many ways, please use me as an instrument. And then the mercy starts flowing. You don't have to write down every word. You can just take bullet points. Otherwise, you can hear the recording. When you start any type of venture, there's a few questions to ask. What is the first question that you ask yourself? Yes, but before even that is what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? What is the job? Otherwise, you bark up the wrong tree. You do the wrong homework. Huh? Like you go to school, to university, you learn to do things right, but you don't learn how to do the right things. There's a problem here. Huh? So what is the mission? It's not just to get a lot of books out. It's to actually attract people to Krishna consciousness, to bring them closer, to engage them in devotional service. So sometimes we're not very clear about what is the mission. What does it mean to do Sankirtan? Huh? Satatam kirtayantomam. It means to engage in hearing and chanting and to engage others in hearing and chanting. Sometimes in the name of preaching, we do anti-preaching. Sometimes in the name of service, we do disservice. Has it ever happened to you? You step on others, step on the little guys, become offensive to devotees or to other people. Jiva hingsa, violence towards living entities. Then Krishna says, okay, like in hockey, in ice hockey, you got to go into the ice box, okay, 2 minutes, out. Okay, 5 minutes, out. Okay, out of the game. Huh? So, and it has happened, even to big players. Why? Because they were too much full of themselves. So what is the game? What is it that we're playing? Anybody remind me? What are we doing here? Yes, Sankirtan. And Sankirtan means Samyak Kirtan, means everybody. Nobody's excluded. It's not an elitist thing. It's not a question of a few select, rare individuals. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, everybody was part of the Sankirtan. You read Chaitanya Charitamrita, they came out, lakhs of people. Everybody made torches and went to chant and dance. So, that is the mission. Book distribution is not something that you do if you got nothing better to do. It's not something that you do if you need money or you need to impress somebody or you feel a little depressed. Book distribution is the Yuga Dharma. Because book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, Prasad distribution, they are non-different. They're different but non-different. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Books, Kirtan. Books is the written Kirtan. When people read the books, they start chanting. And then they want to take prasad. They want to have association of devotees, engage in devotional service. So books are the basis. Everything's based on books. This big building is on a strong, solid foundation. Otherwise, these walls, these ceilings won't hold up. So in our own life, we should not create castles of sand. As kids, we do that. We make castles of sand, but the next day they're gone. In devotional service, we should not build castles of sand. We can have so many creations of the mind, manodharma, that I know so much, I look so good, I know this, I know that, but when push comes to shove, you take out one card, the whole deck comes down. And we have experienced that. But if we build our lives on books and on the values of the books, the preaching on the books, the book distribution, it will be sound and solid. The second question you already mentioned is why. Why am I doing what am I doing? Why is why the second question? Why defines the purpose? What is the intent? And as they say, motivation is very important. What is the motivation? Motivation defines the intent. No motive, no case, as they teach you in criminal psychology. Oh, he cannot be. He cannot be the perpetrator. Why? He had no motive. It was just no motive. So your homework for today is to write down your 108 reasons. Why do you want to preach and distribute Krishna consciousness through the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books? Okay? Okay, give me 10, all right? But they got to be your reasons, okay? Not something you read somewhere. Now it's nice, you have all these quotes in the hallway and in the staircase. They're beautiful quotes by Prabhupada. But you got to own them, meaning it's got to be your reason why you do this. People on the street are going to ask you, you're young, you look okay, you're somewhat educated, you could be making money, you could be enjoying yourself. Why? Why are you doing this? Tell me. You know? You got to have your reasons ready. If somebody wakes you up at 1 o'clock in the morning and asks you, why are you doing this? What are you going to tell them? So you write down your 10 burning reasons why you want to take part in the Sankirtan movement. And they got to be your reasons, not your neighbors, not somebody else's. Now you might say this comes from Prabhupada, fine, but if you actually realize it, if you own it, then it becomes your reason. And also, not only the people on the street, but your own mind will ask you, hey, you, look at me. Why are you doing this? Huh? Does your mind ever ask you that? All the time, right? No, never. You're a peaceful mind. Huh? No? Okay. Okay. Anyway, mind has different strategies. But one of them is putting doubts. Why? Why are you doing this? Come on. You have options. You have opportunities, you know? You know, your mom, she still has that room for you, you know? That money is still waiting for you, you know? That job offer, you know? That opportunity. So, we have to know why we're doing what we're doing, otherwise we'll be weak. We'll not be convinced. And people will exploit it, Maya will exploit it. So, we'll speak more about why tomorrow. When you meet people on the street, the first thing you do, what is the first thing you do? Huh? You greet them. Before you greet them. Before that. Before that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You chant, you pray. You have to be in a prayerful mood. Don't just think, oh, it's going to work out, everything's going to be fine. We're dependent on Krishna. If we're dependent on our own strength, on our own smiles and looks, good luck. Good luck. Yes, people see three things. There are three S's. The first S is, it was mentioned, your smile. People look at the face. That's the first thing you look at a person. You look at the face. The face is the index of the mind. You look at a person and you think, yeah, I would like to talk to this person. Or, no, I don't want to talk to this fellow. It's an instant decision that everybody takes. So, to be a blissful devotee, Srila Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. If you're just a happy devotee, you see a person who's actually happy, you want to be with that person. Prabhupada was blissful, he was ecstatic. So people wanted to be close to him. They wanted to get his association. So, if you want to become a good book distributor, just become a blissful devotee. Just become ecstatic in Krishna consciousness. People will come up to you and they will say, what you got there? You know? Please, I would like what you have. People want to become like you. That is what it is. That's the first thing, the smile. The second thing people see, that's the shirt. So, what is my dress? Like we're here in a temple. We should be wearing either dhoti kurta, sari, or pant and shirt, some respectable dress. So people feel, yeah, I can talk to this person without feeling intimidated, without feeling afraid. I can give this person $100 and I don't think he's going to spend it on drugs. If you look like a 50-cent guy, you'll get 50 cents. Now, you may not be the master of style, but I'm sure there is one person in your temple who has got an idea about dressing. So you train the others how to dress properly. And then the shoes. Sometimes devotees take out, those rubber things we wear in the bathroom, those chapels, on the street. Looks kind of dodgy, Looks like the guy who goes from the homeless shelter to buy, a six-pack. So you don't give that guy money because you feel he's just going to waste it. So you got to look neat and clean. They asked Prabhupada, how do we know who's your disciple? He said, they will be gentlemen and ladies. So if somebody looks like a gentleman or a lady, there's a very good chance that they're my disciples. Achar and prachar. First, behavior. First you dress, then you address. Now we can eat according to our own taste, but we should dress according to the taste of the people. Because you don't have to look at yourself. The people have to look at you. But the food goes in your mouth. So you have to eat according to your taste. Just like today in the morning, we had a very opulent, elaborate breakfast. We had white rice with white bread and white sugar and what else? White cheese and too much white stuff. Some salad leaves, some tomatoes. It was nice. It was well meant. The point I'm making is it's not just about the looks. There has to be substance. There has to be content. Because any fool can dress up nicely till they open their mouth. Ooh, then. So the first thing, it was mentioned, you meet a person, the first thing you do is eye contact. You actually look them in the eye. You don't stare at them, because they'll feel intimidated. They'll feel uncomfortable. But you just let them know, okay, I've seen you. Okay, now I move towards you. Then you smile. Then you wave or, and you say something. In every interaction, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now that sounds very spectacular, yes. But 40% of what goes wrong in the first 3 seconds. And in the last 10 seconds. Another 40%. The interaction is not so complicated. You say a little something about the book. You ask a few questions. You lead them along the conversation. For most devotees that I observe trying to distribute books, it's over before it even started. Either because they're asleep, they're just not switched on, and the people just move by, and they can't really stop anybody, or they just don't know how to stop them. They don't know what to say. Has that ever happened to you? You were there and people are just walking all over you as if you were the famous invisible man? Has happened, right? It feels kind of frustrating. So, how to get more traction? We'll get into the mechanics, not today. Today, this is just a brief outline, so you have an idea of what we're going to talk about in the next few days. I'll just give you a few hints. You smile, you walk towards them, you make some sound. And with sound, that doesn't just mean you give out a scream or a shout or something. But usually what you do here is you say hello or hi, how's it going? And you wave, you put out your hand. Or some people you can do this type of handshake, or some people you do this type, or some people you do this type, depending on what kind of a person it is. You know what I mean. And you connect with them. You don't stop people by sticking a book in their face. Okay? You can write that down. Don't stop people by sticking a book in their face. Now it sounds kind of funny, right? But I see it happen every day. Many, many times. And it's very annoying because it doesn't work. Have you tried it? We've all tried it. Do you like it if somebody sticks some book in your face? Not really, right? It's not nice, First of all, books don't go to the face. Books go, also not to the chest. Books go to the hand. Okay? We'll get more into that later on. And you say something that the person can relate to. Not like, do you believe in God? Do you want to buy this? Are you interested? These are all yes and no answers questions. These are all closed-ended questions. They're open-ended and closed-ended questions. We'll deal with them on another day. You have to learn how to use open-ended questions that people cannot answer with a yes or no answer, but it gets them to talk. How are you doing? Yeah, good. It's a nice day, isn't it? So, open-ended question opens up the conversation, you see? You're strangers. You're people who have never met before, and you want to open up the conversation. So you need an open-ended question. But if you're closed, you will use closed questions. Yes or no answers. I only use closed-ended questions in two cases. The first case is, I know that they will say yes. I say, this is for all the nice people. Are you one of the nice people? They may not say anything, but they'll start smiling. Now, if the person smiles 2 times, they will buy a book. If you get anybody to smile for 2 times, they will buy the book just because you got them to smile. Okay, that's enough, It's worth it. You're worth $5 or $10. I'll give you that, That's good. You made my day, Are you from Chicago or from outside of Chicago? So I use closed-ended questions. If the answer doesn't matter, whether they say yes or no, I achieve my purpose. Or I use a closed-ended question if I want to get rid of a person. You see, this person is not going to take, this person is a nuisance, this person is not interested, this person is a religious fanatic. So I just ask them a question, do you want to buy this? Do you have $5? And the person says no, and I say, okay, have a nice day, and you move on. I don't need to disqualify him. He disqualified himself. You understand? Otherwise, you waste a lot of time and energy trying to distance yourself from people. You see, you have a certain amount of energy. So go on energy conservation mode, It's like when your computer, battery goes down a little bit, then the lights dim because you go on energy conservation mode. So don't exert yourself. Now, of course, if you're plugged into the source, if you're Krishna conscious, you have unlimited energy flowing through you, but you'll use it wisely. The head is the main part where humidity and energy and heat is being exerted. So through talking, Vacha vegam, manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam, udarapasta vegam, etan vegam, yovishaheta dira, sarvam apimam pritivim sashishya. Rupa Goswami, Upadeshamrita. I believe you already studied that, right? You've done that one. Kaviraj Goswami says that true eloquence is truth spoken concisely. We're not using mantra, we're using sutra. Just like, you can write this down. Consciousness creates reality. 3 words. Consciousness creates reality. Whatever is in your consciousness right now, tomorrow will become a fact. That's the good news, and that's the scary news. So how to change that consciousness, that cheta? That is Sankirtan. That is the process of Harinam Sankirtan. Because otherwise, tomorrow, you will be suffering and enjoying whatever goes through your mind today. Now, that's a scary thought. Because you will have to deal with that reality. So, how to influence people's lives. We're not giving a talk here on how to, make friends and how to influence people and how to push a few buttons and say a few things so you can sell a few things. Why not? Because that's not our purpose. When people see that you're actually for real, they become attracted. Now, we may be a new devotee. Still, that spark can jump over. I know many people who got their book, their first book, from somebody who was not even practicing Krishna consciousness. I know many devotees who got their first book from their drug dealer, or from some distant relative, or somebody who didn't even want the book. They found the book in a trash can. The potency can affect a living entity, even if the medium is not very pure. Huh? But if we are in good consciousness, in good shape, then there's a much bigger chance, a much bigger scope for that person's taking up Krishna consciousness. So, how to stop people? Well, there's different ways, you know. You can stand in front of them. You can jump on their legs and tackle them, you know. There's different types of stopping people. But the best and most powerful way is that you just project positive energy. And people feel attracted and they want to interact with you. And those who want to avoid you, you can write that down. Let them go. We don't run after people. We don't throw books after people. If they don't want to talk to you, let them go. Okay? This will save you 50% of misery, grief, and frustration. That's pretty good, you know, nowadays. It's pretty good. Just let them go. And don't sweat it, you know. Don't beat yourself up about it. Oh, damn, you know, missed one. Look around. Somebody is already smiling at you. If you run after this fellow, you'll miss that guy over there. Somebody's right next to you, you know. But if you run after that fellow, you'll miss this one. So, Krishna is sending you the people according to your state of consciousness. Now, this is a scary thought, but it's reality. Consciousness attracts certain types of consciousness. So if you're in a argumentative mode, if you're in a fighting mode, if you're in a tamasic, in a despondent mode, you will attract people of the same mindset, of the same kind of a mood. And if you're in an exuberant, in a positive, in a happy spirit, you will attract people who can connect, who can relate to that type of mindset. That's why it's important to be very optimistic, to be very positive. And we have all reason to be optimistic and positive because Krishna consciousness is the positive alternative. Even if all you can do is give out one book. You know, what do you reckon? If you can save one person's life, you know, there's an accident and, you know, car got smashed by a truck, you know, the guy's on the wheel unconscious, the lady with the baby in the back, the oil, the gas spilled all over the floor, you know, and you can see the fire has started somewhere, but you get off your bicycle, you take your bike, you smash the window, you get him out, and the car goes up in flames. You'll be a hero, right? You'll be a hero. You'll be on the news. You get a medal. Hey, you know, saved somebody's life. Well, you got a chance to do that when you go on Sankirtan every day. You may be not on the news. You may not get a medal. Oh, you did 3 books. Ki Jai. Wonderful. What happened, man? What's wrong with you? What'd you do the rest of the day, huh? Hey, I saved 3 people. So, the point is, every book will make a devotee. We may not see it. These are smart bombs. They will find their target. They will go and touch that person's life. We may not be there to see the impact. That's okay. We have faith. We know the potency of these literatures. How can we be so sure? Well, you're the proof. You can see. You know, we went to Warped Tour 2 years ago, and voila, our friend is here. We didn't see him consciously, although I do remember somehow. But, so Krishna has his own mysterious way. So how to stop people? Just, it's about being confident. How can you become so confident? It's Krishna consciousness. When you're confident that Krishna consciousness is the positive alternative and this is the higher taste. Why? Because I'm tasting it. It's real. It's not some theoretical concept. Now you might say, I don't know the philosophy. I don't like getting up early. I don't like all that stuff. Okay, agreed, fine. But my question to you is, did you have a few moments of truth? Did you have a few of those moments where you felt, yes, this is it? Did you have a few of those moments in your life? I believe every devotee has. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today, right? So, that's what keeps you alive in Krishna consciousness. There may be so many other things that you might not like so much, but just on Sankirtan, you learn how to take that one moment and you pull it, and it can become eternity. I joined on a Thursday, and I went on traveling Sankirtan on a Sunday. It was the next Sunday, 3 days after. And I didn't stop for 15 years. And the time just went flying like this. It just in a time warp. It just, what happened? All of a sudden, I was 30. So the same thing can happen. When you are actually connected to the spiritual energy, time ceases to exist. You've lost track of space and time. And that's a wonderful experience, right? Where you're not, oh, okay, when is this finally going to finish, you know? Is he over with it? Has he said, you know? Like that. So to be blissful in Krishna consciousness is the most attractive and the most convincing way. So you meet people, you just go up to them and you say a few nice things that get their attention. Depending on the culture, you know, there's different things you can say. In some cultures, it's permissible to say, hey, nice shoes, nice car, nice shirt, nice this, nice that. In America, people like this stuff, you know. They like it. It works. In Europe, if I tell somebody in Switzerland, nice shoes, they go like, you crazy or what? Why you talk about my shoes, you know? What's your problem? You know, it's like, you want to talk to me, just talk to me. Don't talk about my shoes, okay? But here, you know, you have to see who is the person. You understand? In some cultures, you can just go up and you fold your hands, or hold out your hand, and they will shake it. In some places, they won't. So you have to see what works. You figure it out. You're the smart guys. That's why we pay you the big bucks, because you know. No? How do you know? Krishna will tell you. Krishna is in your heart, and he will tell you how to say and how to do the right thing. So, okay, the person stopped. They're there. What do you do next? Do you start preaching to him and tell him your nice little story till he runs away? No. You put the book in his hand. Okay, can you write that down? You know, have you ever seen a devotee that he's holding his book behind his, and he's preaching, you know? And he's preaching and preaching and preaching. If the book is in your hand, it will stay in your hand. If it's in the person's hand, it will stay in the person's hand. So first thing you do, you stop the person by eye contact, saying something, smiling, handshake. Then when they're stopped, you put the book in their hand. And you say, we're showing these today to all the nice people. Are you one of the nice people? Or this is for all the intelligent, for all the best looking, best dressed people, for all the hard workers. You can use all these mantras. There's no copyright, no franchise, no percentages, okay? This is time tested and proven. You say, these are books, and then the presentation about the book. People have 3 question marks. They have 3 questions in their mind. They want to know, who are you? Who is this fellow who's talking to me? Number 2, what's this book? Number 3, what's in it for me? What's the bottom line? If you can answer these 3 questions in the first 17 seconds, not 15, not 18, but 17 seconds, they will buy the book from you. Guaranteed. Money back guarantee. Now, who are you? Well, people look at you and they might say, I don't believe you. You don't look like it, you know? Who are you? Huh? You are whoever you are, okay? When I started out when I was 15 years old, I just told people I'm a student because I was out of 9th grade, you know? So I felt I'm a student. So they said, yeah, okay, he's a student. Fine, fair enough. He's a kid, you know? Just tell people who you are. Nobody can argue with the truth. Don't make up big stories, you know? Don't try to come up with something very sophisticated. Just tell them how you feel, what you are. That's your sense of identity. Now, of course, you can tell people, hey, we're coming from over there and we're going over here, take a book, give me some money and get lost. It works. But there is a problem with that. You know what the problem is? After a while, your mind becomes insulted. And if you don't like doing something, you can't go on doing it for a long time. So you'd rather learn how to present Krishna consciousness in a way that is not only appealing to the public, but that is also appealing to yourself. Because if you hate an activity, you won't go on doing it for very long. So, you tell them who you are. And that can be done very brief, you know. I tell them I'm a traveling monk, or I'm teaching this, whichever mood I'm in. And then, number 2, what's this book all about? You can tell people, you know, once upon a time, there was a king, and he was cursed to die within 7 days. And he sat down on the bank of the Ganges. Hello, why are you running away? I got my little story to tell. We just got started, you know. Anybody who's older than 10 years won't entertain stories that start with once upon a time. Okay? It's fun till you're 10 years old. But after that, people say, okay, all right, you got 30 seconds. Give it all you got. 29, 28, 27. You know, people are on a clock. Parking's expensive. They got places to go, people to meet. So come to the point. What is this book all about? Books on yoga and meditation teaches you how to get free from stress. Have you heard of stress before? Don't just talk. Tie in a question which makes sure that the person understood what you were talking about. Like I tell them, I'm a monk. You've heard of monks, right? I ask that everybody. And the people say, yeah. I say, yeah, no. You know, I'm just checking, you know, there's a lot of stupid kids out here, you know. Just checking that you get it, what we're talking about here. So, you don't have to use the same words. You don't have to use the same type of language that I use. You use your language. This is just examples, okay? We're giving you the principle. You have to fill in the details. You have to apply it in your own situation, time, place, and circumstance. So, the point was, what was the point? What is the book about? Yes, you have to make that bridge. You have to make that connection. You say something nice about the book, and you can say so many things because the book is about everything. I mean, Krishna is all attractive. There's everything in there, you know? History, philosophy, religion, science, sociology, economics, human relations, you know? It's all there. But how to make that bridge, how to make that connection, how to make it relevant to that person. How'd you do that? You have to find out something. What is this guy about? Now, how do you do that? Well, there's different ways. One is you become psychic and you read people's minds. Another way is you ask them questions. And very simple. I ask everybody, what do you work? What do you study? What's your major? Do you like it? Are you good at your job? When do you get your degree? You just ask them questions. People love to talk about themselves. You give anybody a chance to speak about themselves, they will love you for it. And they will give you money for it. That's pretty nifty, you know? Because speaking about themselves is the second most pleasing thing in the world. Huh? The first most pleasing sound is the sound of their own voice. So if you give people the chance to speak, they will love you for it. They will love you for it, man. Big time. They eat this with a big spoon, you know? So you just ask people questions and you let them speak a little. And remember this. He who asks the questions controls the conversation. You can write that down in your little books. Whoever asks the questions controls the conversation. What do the cops do? Where were you on Saturday night between 7 and 9 o'clock? Did you do this? Did you go here and there? Huh? They ask questions. So the person who asks the questions controls the conversation. It's not the person who does all the talking. You just guide them in the right direction by asking the right kind of questions. Again, open-ended, closed-ended questions. So I don't ask people, are you interested? Do you like to read? Do you believe in God? Do you have money? Do you have time? No, because you'll get a negative response. Sometimes I use this as a double negative, because a double negative makes a positive. I say, this is for everybody who's got no time, no money, and no interest. Which one of the three are you? All the three. You're qualified, my friend. That's for you. You get it? People already want to get rid of you. They want to give you all their excuses. You already, as a preamble, give them all their excuses and say, look, this won't work with me. I'm not buying it, okay? So just cut it. Just cut it out, okay? So, how to make the book relevant? You have to make that bridge. You have to make that connection. I was in Moscow airport. I had one Upanishad left. I saw a young man walking around. He had a guitar strapped to his back. I walk up to him. What do I ask him? Do you play the guitar? Yeah. How did you know? You know, people are not that bright, you know? I mean, you state the obvious. The guy gets out of his truck, you know, it says Bell or whatever it says, AT&T. You ask him, do you work in telecommunications? He's not going to get upset, you know, and ask you, how dare you impose on me? He says, yeah, for sure. You say, how's business? How's work? Oh, it's great, you know. It's pretty hard, huh? It's pretty tough. Yeah, you know. Do you do the city or the whole district or just this block, you know? Get into it. Talk with people. They'll love you for it. You get the point? You get the drift, what I'm making here? There has to be some connection. I landed at Mumbai airport. I didn't have a phone or my SIM card. I borrowed a phone from a guy. He had a green backpack. So he was on the phone. I said, sorry, I need a phone. Can I borrow your phone? So he hung up. He gave me the phone. And I gave him the Gita. And I asked him, Army. He said, no, Navy. I said, even better, you know? So, you know, green backpack. It's clear. It's an Army backpack. I mean, you can spot it from a mile. I say, you know, this book is about a soldier. He had problems in his job. He had problems with his family. He had problems with himself. Does this ring a bell? I don't say, does this ring a bell, but the person is paying attention because it means something to him. You understand what I mean? You make that connection. So he took the Gita, and I made my call, and we both went on happily. But you have to make that connection. It's not enough to just speak about the book. The person wants to know, what's in it for me? What do I get out of this? What's my benefit? Like books about yoga meditation teaches you how to get free from stress. Have you heard of stress before? No. Really? Wow. You look very peaceful. What's your secret? What do you do? Why are you so peaceful? Oh, really? Do you think I'm peaceful? Yeah. I mean, what do you do? Any guy, you know, I asked him, so, do you work out or you just work hard, you know? Oh, really? You can see? Huh? You can see? Huh? Like that, you know? Ladies, you know, you say, oh, that's a pretty handbag. That's a nice scarf. That's a nice shoe. Where do you got that? Like that. They don't take it in a bad way, you know? It's a compliment. They appreciate. Why is it so hard to appreciate others, even amongst devotees? It's so easy to find faults and criticize. It's an ocean of faults. I can tell you 1,000,001 things that I don't like. Like you already noticed, I already mentioned a few. Sugar, white bread, white this, white that. I don't like it. So, but what does that tell you about me? Except that I'm a, you know, huh? Yeah, no, except that I'm, you know, a critical and a, you know, it doesn't give you any positive information. So speak about a positive. There's so much positive that you can communicate when you give Prabhupada's books. And it's much easier than to speak about the negative. People are already aware of the negative. They're living it, you know. They have full realization of the negative, of the grief of material existence. So, I tell many times people, I teach happiness. Have you heard of happiness? Oh, you just smiled, huh? Okay, so you know about happiness, right? I mean, everybody talks about it, right? But who has it, you know? This book is about happiness. Now, I have a question for you. In one word or less, what is it that you want to give to people? Sutra. What is it that you want to give people? Devotion. Okay. What else? Knowledge. Love. Peace. That's way too long. You lost me there. You're too educated. You're too smart. Just put it in one word. You know, it's like a buzzword. You know, like you ring the buzzer. Bzzz. It's called a buzzword, you know? You push that button, that word, and the lights go on. And the person is like, okay, I'm with you. These are the words I want you to write down. You make a list now before going out. You make a list of at least 10 buzzwords. What it is that you want to give people, that you feel that is contained in Prabhupada's books. Belief. Relief, yes. It's a hard life. Make your own list of buzzwords. You can copy others as well, but you know, you have to buy into it. And you work with those buzzwords. Don't use sentences, phrases, paragraphs, poetry. People don't have the time or the patience. Just give them buzzwords, okay? Work with that. You make that connection. And then the end part becomes very easy. Okay, fine. The bottom line, the person has made the connection, they want the book, what's in it for me, it's clear. Then how to get a donation. We'll speak at length about this later on, but just to make it brief, we got 5 minutes. Just ask for a donation. Don't wait and continue talking, you know. Just give them a book and tell them to give a donation. It's not that complicated. People will do it. Huh? But if they think it's big and much, just say a couple of bucks, you know, just give what you can from the heart. Just ask for it. You'll get it. If you don't ask, you don't get. Okay? Yes. No, once he reaches for the wallet, then I say, you know what, you got a soft Gita? I say, you know, students give 5 or 10, workers give 20. As he pulls out the wallet, not before. You understand? There's a timing there. Initially you say, just give a donation, you know, and you truly feel just, you know, magnanimous. Even if the guy gives you $1, the last guy gave you 10 for a soft Gita, right? So you're already $5 in plus. So even if you give it out for free, Krishna is no poor man, okay? He's got you covered. If you truly believe that, let him fly, man. Just let him fly. People will be throwing money at you. But then when they take out the wallet, just before they reach, then you say, you know, students give 5 or 10, workers give 20. But if you think, oh, just $2 or $3, then the guy will say, what about 50 cents? You say, okay, what about 10 cents? You understand? They'll push you down. So you have to And sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. Don't be worked up about it. Nobody's going to ask. At the end of the day, you know what you got, and it's all good. If you consistently get too small donations, it means that you haven't really learned how to impress the value upon the people. You're selling yourself short like that. But also it depends a little bit on, the environment, the neighborhood, the clientele. There are different factors that play into the equation. Some places it's better to just give small books. You just give small books and you take whatever they can give you. If it's like a poor, environment like that. Sure. Sure, whatever works. We're representatives, we're the agents, we're the ambassadors of goodwill. You're like the mailman, bringing the message. You're representative of the Guru Parampara. There's many ways of how to see it, like that. What is my identity? I see myself as a servant and as a member of the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that. So we'll take one or two more questions and then we'll quit because we want to go out and distribute. Yes. A bunch of questions? I don't entertain a bunch of questions, You have a bunch of questions, here's the invitation card. I'm a new guy, but at this temple there's a bunch of very smart people and they love answering your intelligent questions, okay? Because I just don't know that much, But what I recommend is you read this book before because then you'll have even more questions and they can really answer them. So take it, give a donation. Usually they just want to talk. They say, no book, I just want to talk. I'm sorry, I'm not a talker. I'm a book distributor, okay? You can write that down. I'm not a talker, I'm a book distributor. You're entitled to make your own mistakes, but don't make the same mistake more than 10 times, okay? So what I recommend you have a little book like this, and you write down, dealing with talkers, time wasters, and members, fanatical members of other groups, religious groups, okay? And then you make little signs. And when you have 10, you cross them out, okay? Talking to the beautiful young girl, who thinks I'm a pretty cool guy, okay, 1, 2, 3, 10, finish, done. I won't do that again. Okay. Talking to the homeless guy, who asks me later on, can you give me $1? Okay, 10 of those, done. X'd out. Okay. There's a limit to how much grief you can take in any given day. So spare yourself the grief and take note. And at one point, you don't entertain these type of archetypes, this is an F3, this is a B7. You know who's who. Why? Because it comes from practice. An expert cook can just look at the food and he knows exactly what type of ingredients, what type of spicing, whether the person who did it knew what he was doing or not. You just look at it, that's enough. That's why Krishna eats with his eyes, He doesn't need to put the food in his mouth. He accepts the bhakti, but for the rest, he's okay. He's Atmarama, he's satisfied. Huh? So, now, again, you make your own mistakes, but after a while you get the drift, right? You started talking, you felt like a lot of energy was going, and no result. And then you felt, okay, now, got to start up again, If you're in the hole, stop digging. You can write that down. If I'm in the hole, stop digging. Don't go on and think it's going to get better. If you lost your way, what do you need to do? You need to turn around and go back where you get off the track. It's the only thing you can do. Get back on track. And what's the track? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I've been out in the sticks plenty of times, countless times. But when you chant the mantra and you are actually humble and you say, Krishna, Prabhupada, please, I got a little lost here, I got a little bewildered, so please help me to refocus, I need a clear signal here. All of a sudden, boom, you're back on track. Works every time. But if you think you can just continue driving, you'll just go deeper and deeper into the jungle. Yes? People? Yes. And women? Problem. Because you haven't been trained, you know? It's like you have not been trained. If I ask any one of you, who could go and cook the Raj Bhog offering? Right now. You know? Cook didn't show, so we need somebody. You got 2 hours. Pull it off. Okay? I know technically everybody here can do it, but you need a little training. So just training. You need to associate with devotees who know what they're doing. It's one thing to hear it, it's one thing to see it in action. How'd you learn cooking? I mean, you can have so many cookbooks, you can read so much theory, or you just look what is Mumsy doing, you know, and you assist her. Or whoever that role model, that, you know, person is who knows what they're doing, and you pick it up quite fast. That's called Vigyan, realized knowledge. Krishna consciousness is not just about putting more theory into our brains and becoming constipated, getting indigestion by all the information. No. It means realized knowledge. It means we have to apply ourselves to the process. And that means following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So from your perspective, over 30 sounds scary, you know, because, you know, I'm almost 50. So how does that make me feel like, you know? How does it make the ladies feel like? It's just, we have all these preconceived notions of who I am and what is my identity. But once we realize I'm simply a servant of Krishna, it becomes quite easy. And Krishna will teach you. But it's usually easier to learn from experts. So you associate with devotees who know what they're doing, and we have many here. You stick around with them, and you can learn. And still you will have certain groups of people who are just not that responsive. It's just a fact. And you may engage less of them, but, you know, if you have a choice of 5 people, you will pick the one who you think is the most likely to succeed. You know, you pick your MLS, most likely to succeed. Like a doctor on a battlefield, he sees which person has the biggest chance of survival. And he first takes care of that person. Guy's got no arm, guy got no leg. Okay, you know, we can do something here. Guy got no head. Well, not so sure, you know. We can go and look around for the head, you know, but might be difficult. So, by experience. Any other questions? How long would you like me to continue? Okay, we have another 5 or 10 minutes of questions, and then we'll go out to do some Sankirtan. And how it's going to work is not everybody's going to be on my back, but we have a few people who already know book distribution, and we can take turns. We'll go to a place where we can have chanting also, right? So those who are new, who just want to do chanting, can do chanting, and then you can also go and watch. We'll put the bar very low, okay? Today, you don't have to distribute any books, okay? You can just come out and watch. How about that? Wow. What a relief, huh? Wow. Huh? In fact, the first time you go out, you should not distribute books. You should just watch. Build up your confidence. Build up your competence, your faith. Then you assist, and then you'll sneak out and you'll do a book or 2, like that. That's usually how it works. And we'll take turns. There's going to be Acharya Nishta and Parama Karuna, Bahudvijana, Prabhu, some others, so you can assist them, see what they're doing. What is the goal? The goal is to leave every person with a good impression, including ourselves. Because remember how we started off. If I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. If you don't have a positive experience in Sankirtan, an overall positive experience. There might be highs and lows. That's okay. That's permissible. But if your overall experience is not positive, you won't continue. But we want you to continue. So, how to get a positive experience? By not having unrealistic expectations. If you think, people should be throwing money at me, they should praise me, they should wash and touch my feet, it's not going to happen. You'll be sorely disappointed. This is not Bangladesh, where people come out and they jump on your feet and, they throw flowers and water and all that, It's a different environment. So, any other question? Yes. Radar, yes. The radar. In your hand, you have radar. Okay? Can you try? Hold out your hand. Can you feel? No, your radar is not switched on. You have to say hi. Can you feel now the energy? No? Okay, say Hare Krishna. Now, do you feel anything? No, you had too much breakfast, huh? Too much white bread. So, you can build up, that radar. It's intuition which comes from Krishna. Krishna gives you the information about a person, as much as you need to know. Person walks down the street, I stop him, I can tell them, if I'm in okay shape, I can pretty much tell them their age, their job, and what's going on in their life. Not because I'm a psychic, because it just comes with the job, it just, it's like, hey, he looks at a building, he knows what's going on. It comes with the work, with the service. But it's Krishna's potency. We should never think this is my Shakti. Otherwise, punar mushtika bhava. Again, become a mouse. Huh? If we take it for granted and we think, oh, I'm making it happen, then people will just brush you aside. They will not pay attention. But Krishna is very kind and he has allowed himself to be distributed by his devotees. In fact, Krishna has given the prerogative to his devotees to distribute Krishna consciousness. So, without further ado, let us all go out and engage in Harinam Sankirtan, for it is a beautiful day. And there's no day which is as good as today, as right now, to do this yagya, unless you have something else that seriously needs tending to. We humbly encourage you, please do come out. There are no winners and losers. The only loss is if you cannot take part. So, Srila Prabhupada said there's no better way to preach Krishna consciousness than through the distribution of these literatures. Whenever a new book is published, I feel like an entire empire has been conquered. If you want to make me live forever, distribute my books. Whatever I've had to say, I already said it in these books. You want to know me, read my books. These books are my devotional ecstasies. These are all quotes from Prabhupada. So, we're here because of Prabhupada's books. So, as a gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada, let us try to repay him by do our bit, by giving out a few of these books and helping a few other people to come to the path of bhakti. And it is quite possible, because life in the material world is not very easy. You may think spiritual life is not very easy, but material life is impossible. People are already out there now. It's 11 o'clock, They're already out there for 4 or 5 hours, battling away. They've already been in the rush hour, in the traffic, at the job, They're already toast. And for us so far, it's been a pretty good day. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty happy here. So let us share this happiness with others by giving them the opportunity, by giving them one of Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said if they simply read one line, one word, their life can change. So many times I've seen people, just like last couple of days, they open the book, they read one sentence, and they go, that's it. This guy's got it down. Did you ever have a question and you Just open one of Prabhupada's books and Prabhupada gave you the answer right there in that verse, in that purport, what was going on. Did that ever happen to you? Or is it just me? You agree? Huh? Happens all the time, right? So that happens to everybody. So we want people to have this opportunity. Bhakti Bhushan is probably the closest we will ever get to pure devotional service in this lifetime. People speak about pure bhakti and about chanting the pure name and this and that and the other thing. But Sankirtan, giving people Prabhupada's books, is most likely the closest we will ever get to pure devotional service in this life. So let us not waste this opportunity and work together as a team. Because there's a lot of people out there which are suffering due to the dense darkness of ignorance. I was distributing books in Jagannath Puri and I met a young man from Czechoslovakia. And he told me, I was born in the dense darkness of ignorance, but by the mercy of my spiritual master, my eyes have been opened with the torchlight of knowledge. Now I knew he didn't know this shloka, Om Jnana Timirandasya, but these were his words. Because his sister is a devotee and she gave him the books, which he never read. But once he went to India, he actually started reading one of the books and the lights went on and the coin dropped and he actually could connect the dots. So if you can just change one person's life, that's good enough. Save one soul at a time, starting with yourself. So you're already here. That's great. That's wonderful. Let's continue from there. To leave everybody with a good impression means we don't yell at people, we don't insult them, we don't abuse them, we don't take out our frustration or our confusion on them. If you can't make it better, don't make it worse, okay? Sometimes all people can take is a smile. You say hello and you see, oh, it's not going to happen. Okay, have a great day. Hey, you. Excuse me. Okay, nice meeting you. Hey, you. You know, all they can take is a smile. Next time they meet a devotee again, second smile. Oh, okay, let me talk to this person. Why? Because already some affection is already there. Some credit is there. Sometimes they can just look at the book, but then they go. Other times they come and they just hand you money. And you say, no, I want to tell you my little story. They say, no, somebody already told me all the stories. Here's the money, I take the book, have a great day. And they walk. Has it ever happened to you? Somebody else did all the work and you just did the exchange. That feels pretty good, huh? But sometimes you do all the work and somebody else gets the result. So it's a team effort. People are looking for higher knowledge. They're looking for the truth. Because the truth will set you free. Thank you for your attention. We will meet at yeah. Since it's only 15 minutes, you can just go out in Dodis and Saris, you know. We do Harinam anyway, so perfectly all right. Srila Prabhupada ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Gaur Premanandi.
Just one.